Paris Monroe was recently voted Teacher of the Month at her school, but unfortunately that's not the reason why she has caught some scrutiny in the media. So she's been posting these photos to Instagram of her in her classroom, and then the hashtag started trending, hashtag #TeacherBay. And this sparked an online conversation about whether or not she was dressed appropriately. So let's look at some of these photos that Paris has. Obviously that is a knee-length dress. The collar is up to her chin practically, and the issue that
we'll say clavicle.
Yeah, clavicle. But the issue that people have is that apparently these are inappropriate outfits for school. This person says that teacher looks good AF, but her attire is just inappropriate to be teaching a 4th grade class. Little boys are pervs by like 2nd grade. So commenting that they don't feel that what she's wearing is okay to be teaching in. We have some more tweets that say, what I thought was a work dress versus what Twitter thinks is a work dress. So this seems to be a comment on her curvy figure. Monroe commented to the Daily Dot. She said, quote, I just wish they would respect me and focus on the positive and what truly matters, which is educating the children of the future generations and providing and caring for them. And like I said in my introduction, she just won Teacher of the Month. She is a really, she seems everything that we know about her. She is a competent teacher, and she's catching all this scrutiny on her outfits alone. I want to know what you guys think, because I will just say from the get, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, what's she supposed to wear? A burqa? I mean, I don't even get what the
She's
controversy
curvy.
is.
That's not a crime.
Yeah.
I feel
Kenny.
like. So, okay, first of all, my teacher never looked like this, because damn it, I probably would have got an A. I think the issue is because she's curvy, they wanted to wear a little bit more loose-fitting clothes, so it's not about her. You can't help but to not look at that ass when she's walking in this type of dress, because it's being highlighted by what she's wearing, in the sense of it's form-fitting tight, so you're gonna see everything. And what they're saying is we want the kids to focus on your work and not your
Which clearly
work.
they are if she's Teacher of the Month.
Right. But again, that's part of this issue that I see. I don't have an issue with it necessarily, but I do understand like that one graphic where they say this is a work dress, because it flows. And I honestly feel like women know if they're gonna get more attention if they wear this rather than that. Am I wrong?
No, I would totally agree with you, because I have made a conscious choice, obviously with my own dress, to make sure I do not attract male attention, because I'm not interested
Well, it's
in
like
that.
if you wear a tight-fitting shirt,
right,
then
but
you know that they're gonna look at
I would
your-
know the sort of
or-
tops I could wear if I wanted that to be accentuated at all. So I do know what you're coming from. Obviously, women make a conscious choice about what they are wearing, and no one's forcing someone to wear something that they aren't comfortable in. I think. I just don't understand the controversy. I totally hear where people are coming from, but it seems like she's doing her job well. There are some other
having fun
photos.
doing it.
Yeah, and it should be noted, the controversy is all coming from assholes on the internet.
That are not in her class.
No one at the school seems to have any problem with any of this. It's just like the, I don't even want to say well-meaning, but the, everybody with their little opinions at home having to chime in about this woman's choices. It's like, well, you know what? She does her job well. They like her, and so why are we even
and I think that
making
we're also
a big deal out of this?
most of the people on Twitter were picking apart the one photo that we threw up at the beginning of this story, which is a very form-fitting dress, and she looks really cute. And obviously, she posted that to her Instagram because she thought that she looked really good in this photo.
And she's posing 3/4 to the camera.
Right, but exactly. She knows her angles. This girl knows her angles. She found her light. But there are other photos of her in, a cardigan, of her in other outfits where, she has an amazing body. That's not a crime.
Right.
But it doesn't seem like she's going out of her way to be provocative. Right. She didn't ask for this. She didn't create the hashtag #TeacherBay.
No. And people just want her to throw on some sister wife outfit or something that's going to be like.
I mean, it is. You know what? I think it's a lot of jealousy, because when I was, in school back then, it was a long time ago. But when I was in school back then, my teachers looked like my grandmother. Nowadays, they're looking like the girls that I just saw that were at the club the other weekend, because they want to go
where you
out
left your phone,
and
yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's a big time of that, but you're 1,000% right. It's a lot of people that's just online having their opinions about things. And again, I'm not saying that she's wrong for what she's wearing. I don't see a problem with it, but I do understand the people that are complaining. And then you get a lot of people that are complaining because they don't have a body like that or they don't look like that.
So here's
you
a
got lot of
question for both of you. Do you remember a while back how there was a trending hashtag about the hottest teacher ever, and he was this I think he's actually been on Think Tank before, but he was voted the hottest teacher in America, and he was really attractive, and these photos were circulating around, and it was a celebration of how attractive this teacher was. And it's hard for me to look at this story and not compare the treatment of this also hot teacher, who is a woman, to the treatment of a hot teacher who was a man. Do you feel like there's anything there?
I don't remember that guy, but that totally scans. That's the kind of thing we do in this country, you know.
So do you think what I'm asking is, do you think that her treatment on Twitter in the media is particularly unfair because she is a woman? Do you think this would be different if this was a really hot guy, maybe with a very, form-fitting shirt showing off his nice
I mean,
ass?
that's the thing. It's like the hot guy standards. He would basically have to show up in like a midriff cut-off tank top and like Daisy Dukes or something. But if you're a curvy woman and you're wearing a form-fitting dress, which, as you say, goes down to the knee and up to the collarbone, then that's somehow, like shocking.
And again, would this even be an issue if she didn't have curves?
That's true. I mean, if she had my body type, we would not be hearing a Twitter hashtag about it.
If she wore that same dress, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
It'd be like teacher boo instead of teacher A.
Young Turks membership is awesome.
Says who?
Says me. But
Please believe me.
TYTnetwork.com/join.